welcome to Ranger Touring. For this last part of the video, we're going to be going from the tip of Australia back down to where we left in Townsville and talk through all our experience from there. We've got the Moreton Telegraph Station, Elim Beach, Cape Flattery, Cape Bedford, and a whole bunch of things on this adventure. This part of the trip turned out to be a lot more action-packed than we were originally planning for, but it's still worth going to these spots. Hope you enjoy. The last portion of the trip was adventure-packed, where we saw some epic sights and had some monster recoveries. We left from the tip of Cape York and headed towards the Moreton Telegraph Station. Our original plan was to head to Elim Beach and then tackle the Frenchman's Track. However, we were running out of days to get everything done. Instead, we opted to stay at the Moreton Telegraph Station, which turned out to be our favourite campsite of the trip. We went for a fish in the river and then sat for hours with some beers and enjoyed the cool streams in the 30-degree heat. Afterwards, we headed for our next campsite just outside of Cohen. This was called the Bend South. It was an okay site, however, I would only use this as a transit site. From here we headed towards Lakeland, which takes you to Kalpower Crossing. The spot is popular for spotting crocodiles. Earlier in the season, the water flows over the crossing at Kalpower Crossing, making it a four-wheel drive challenge. However, when we were there, it was very dry. We'd originally planned on staying the night here and had already booked campsites. However, the spot was dry and very exposed to the sun. We decided to push on to Elim Beach. Elim Beach is four-wheel drive accessible. However, you could potentially get an all-wheel drive vehicle into this location. There is a kilometre stretch of relatively firm sand to enter the campsite. Large caravans had also been inside the site. The following day we headed to Cape Bedford to explore some of the tracks. We had some small bogs throughout the day and had to rely on the max tracks and dropping the tyres down to 16 psi. It was worth noting that the track to Cape Bedford is narrow and you do receive a number of pinstripes on some of the tracks. After an afternoon out on the tracks, we headed back towards the coloured sands during low tide. We climbed to the top of the dunes and had a look at the awesome view. The following day we headed towards Cape Flattery. This day turned into a bit of a disaster. As we were planning on heading home after that, we took our trailers with us. Cape Flattery has a number of deep crossings to enter, and it is worth noting that crocs have been spotted in these. We sent it through the crossings and headed towards the infamous beach entrance sand dune. I got stuck on the way up and decided to unhitch at the bottom of the hill. There wasn't enough space to turn around, so I used max tracks and the snatch block to winch my trailer around on the track to collect it after the day. My mate did not have enough space to maneuver and decided to drive over the dune, turn around, come back and then unhitch. We would then explore Cape Flattery with just the cars. This didn't go to plan as I was required to snatch him from the bottom of the hill. We got 2/3 of the way up before getting stuck and then spent 4.5 hours snatching the cars trying to recover them. The sand became so hot it was almost too hot to stand on. My vehicle began to bog under no load and the winches came out to try and drag the vehicles out.
Fun is on the wood.
We got out at about 4 in the afternoon and headed home. That still leaves Cape Flattery and the Frenchman's Track on my bucket list for my next Cape York adventure. So that's it for our walkthrough of our Cape adventure from 2020. If you've got any questions on anything we covered during these videos, please chuck them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, it really helps my channel grow. Thanks again for tuning in to Ranger Touring.